Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Game Master Mondays. I am Shaghik, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm here today to play Bogberries by Gabriel Robinson as a part of the Gast solo series that Game Master Monday is doing. I am very excited for this. I've been waiting for all the Gast games to come out. I backed it when the campaign was happening. Kat, a dear friend of mine, made one of the games in it, and I've been very excited for a while. Who am I, though? Who am I and why am I on Game Master Mondays? As I said, my name is Shaghik, and I have a solo actual play called Roll by Myself. You can find it on Blue Sky, for example, at rollbymyself.bsky.social. That's ROLL by myself. You can also find me all the stuff I do on my website, shaghik.com. That's SHAGHIK. All the stuff that I do, etc., will be on there. But if you'd like to follow me on socials, which isn't on my website, that would be shaghik.com on Blue Sky as well. So, having said all of that, putting that aside, um, I want to get into Bogberries, which is a very cool horror game, and to explain to you what it is. As always, as I usually do on my game, on my show, I'm simply going to read the flavor text that comes with the game at the very top because what better way to describe the game? You live at the edge of the bog with your elder, wicked and cruel and overflowing with sharp words for how children like you ought to behave. They keep you busy day and night with peculiar tasks while they continue their secret work inside. They warned you never to play foolish games in the bog and to beware the things which haunt it, lest you become cursed to join them. You listened to none of this, of course. In fact, you nurtured dark thoughts of your own, heeding the call of something ancient which has long watched over the bog as its own domain. Now you've gone and done something you shouldn't have, for the last time. The elder pursues you as you flee into the wild, promising all sorts of punishment for your misdeeds. Somewhere in the heart of the bog, you hope that the Ancient One who dwells there will protect you, but you must seek them out. And be sure you don't show up empty handed. What gifts can you collect along the path? What dark secrets will the bog reveal, and how will you survive them? Bogberries uses a deck of cards, some d6s, and, this! The microphone as the journaling tool. But I will also have to write down some stuff. Now, to start the setup of the game, what I had to do, and I've already luckily done, is find the Queen of Hearts and the Queen of Spades in my deck and put them aside. Then shuffle the deck. Also, the jokers have already been taken out. Shuffle the deck, take out 22 cards. Shuffle the Queen of Hearts and Spades that I just took out back in the 22 cards, and then that will be the deck that I use. I will need to set the 24 cards that I now have in front of me in a 4x6 grid, which I will do right now. Alright, well, that took me way too long to do, but I got all of my cards in a 4x6 grid. I have my two d6s. I also have two little d4s that I'm using as little figures that will represent me and another character that we'll get to when we get to. How we start the game is I'm going to pick one corner of the 4x6 grid of all the cards. How the game works is this 4x6 grid of all the cards, the 24 cards that I've set up, is the map. I am in this bog. The cards are the bog. I will pick a corner of my map, aka one card, and that is where I'm going to start. I will move each round to an adjacent card that has not been turned over yet. All of these cards are face down. And then each card will have an associated prompt, just as these sorts of games typically do. Then we'll craft the story together. The rest of the rules I'll explain as they come. One more important mechanic to explain is the ruin counter. Everyone, all the characters, all the people who would want to play this game, will start with 1 on the ruin counter. If you ever reach 6, that is one of the ways that the game can end. How you get more ruin. I will explain later as I get it. I will pick a corner now. I'm gonna pick, all right, randomly. Come on, top top right. Sure, why not? I'm going to put my little D4 that represents me on the card in the top right corner of my grid, and I will turn it over and read what it says. I got the Jack of Diamonds, and as you can see, it's a Pinocchio themed deck, which is very cute. Let's appreciate the deck. I don't typically do a video podcast. Yeah, podcast. What? I don't typically do a video podcast, so I don't always get to show how cute my deck is. So let's look at that for a second. Anyhow, the Jack of Diamonds. Branch. Two paths diverge before you, the ground sloping downward and away into strange thickets of shifting green and gold. Is this a trick of the bog? You tumble forward uncontrollably as if stumbling down a steep hill. You must choose one direction quickly. Peek at any two face down cards on the map, then remove one of them entirely, unless it is a queen. Okay, so that is one of the things that can happen on a turn. The game can tell you to remove a card completely instead of simply turning it over and telling you what it does. Um, okay, so I get to peek at two face down cards adjacent. Oh, any face. Oh, not adjacent to me. Okay, cool. That means I will have to remember what those cards are. So I'm going to pick these two cards. I don't know what they are yet. You're seeing them before I am. So if one of them's a queen, then goddamn. No. Okay. Well, could have been fun though if it was a queen, but anyway. Six of diamonds and seven of clubs. I don't think it matters which one I remove because I don't know what these prompts are. I'm not going to. I don't think I'm supposed to look at what the six of diamonds does and what the seven of clubs does. So I'm going to remove. Actually, no, because I remember that the game in the PDF it says that typically red suits do a good thing and black suits do a bad thing. So, fuck you. All right, put this back. And now I've got one empty slot, empty space in my map. Every time I go into an empty space, a bad thing happens. We'll get to it. Let's keep playing. Now I am standing in the corner of the map, and I can only move to an adjacent piece. By adjacent, I'm assuming it means diagonally as well. And so, sure, that's what I'll do. I'll move to the diagonally bottom left piece, the card, which is this. I don't know what it is yet. The Nine of Diamonds. Now, before I get to what the Nine of Diamonds does, I just remembered something important. The other way for the game to end, besides if your rune counter reaches 6, is if you get the Queen of Hearts and you encounter the monster whom you've been seeking. So, with that in mind, now we know that there's something fun that can happen if I find the Queen of Hearts. Now back to Nine of Diamonds. So far, only diamonds. I mean, it's been two cards. I don't know why I'm saying that. Nine of Diamonds. Hoard. The ground gives way as you step through the rotting wood of a buried treasure chest, full of tarnished coins that reek of blood. Gain a resource, then make a ruin roll. You may repeat this as many times as you dare. How is each gift more corrupted by the bog than the last? Oh, that's fun. Okay, the resources are important. They're going to be important for the end game because when you finally meet the monster, you're gonna need to give it things, gifts, to win it over. The rune roll is not great though. So what doing a rune roll means, and I'm going to put the Nine of Diamonds down face up on my map. What doing a rune roll means is I'm going to roll a d6, and if the number I get on the d6 is higher than the number of rune that I currently have, which is just one because literally the game just started, then I get a rune. My rune counter increases by 1. So, let's roll my d6. I wonder. I wonder if I'm gonna get a. Oh, damn, that's a 5. That is higher than 1. So my rune counter goes up by 1. So it's a 1. It goes to a 2. It's interesting. So far, the 2 cards I've had so far both have created an unstable ground that she's walking on. One, the Jack of Diamonds, it created a. The ground sloped. It sloped downward, and I started falling down, and I had to pick a path. And then immediately afterward, the ground gave way as I stepped onto some rotting wood, and I fell down. What I'm getting from that is I'm gonna be bruised as fuck tomorrow, but other than that, let's hope I start walking on some stone real quick. I do also gain a resource, and I have to describe what this resource is. I think it's probably the first thing that I thought of is a really long stick, because I think it was perhaps a branch that I held onto as I was falling down to stabilize me. And then I held onto it and it helped. It helped slow down the fall, but it still broke off of the tree. And then I managed to have a little staff to walk with, a walking stick. A nice little resource, a gift to present to the monster, or do something else with. Naturally, with this being a journaling game, I think she would start thinking to herself, okay, maybe I didn't think this through. Because this is way already. I started running and I was very excited, but it's been 10 minutes and my arm kind of hurts and my leg kind of hurts too. I had to use this long ass walking stick to help prop me up as I'm walking, but I can't even run anymore and I'm walking in mud. There's so much mud and there was the slope and all my clothes are dirty and I have to believe that I did the right thing and that eventually once I find once I find that creature, once I find the monster, then we can make friends and it is going to be all okay and she won't find me and she will not find me. She'll not she won't get to me. She will never get to me. I'm faster. Even with my walking stick, I'll be faster. Let's keep playing. I'm going to move to an adjacent card now. I think she's just going to step forward to the card directly to her left, which is this card. Let's see what it is. The Four of Spades. It is a black card, so I'm a little worried because that's going to be a bad thing. But let's turn it over face up and move my little player token marker onto it. And let's see what the Four of Spades says. Rest. A stooped figure sits cross-legged, gaze fixed on the depths of the bog. Wispy white strands droop from its skull, neck, and shoulders. A ragged cloak is plastered to the yellowing, porous skeleton that remains. Its single hand clutches something withered and dried, a scrap of iridescent flesh. Remove this card from the map, then make a ruin roll. If you pass, gain a resource, or place a new card face down in its place. Onto the journal entry. I decided to take it easy after those little falls. I was just walking. I was just walking forward, head up, just not looking around, not getting distracted, just walking forward, focusing on my path. I didn't even mean to, but I didn't mean to stop. I didn't want to stop, but I just saw this thing, just a skeleton sitting, covered, and I didn't even know skeletons could still have hair, and yet long hair. It was kind of gross. It was holding something. It was shiny. It was sparkly. I didn't want to step forward, but it was so shiny, and the grip was so tight. It had to be something important. I mean, if it's so important that this man died holding it, then it could be something good to present to the creature, right? I had to have it. I had to take it. So I tried. I stepped up. I I was scared. I was walking very slowly. I was trying not to make noise even though it seemed like it's dead. So why would it notice if I made any noise? But I tried still to be quiet. But my walking stick as it like it as I walked and I put it down on the ground in the mud, it just made a really gross slushy sound. And I swear I heard the skeleton slightly turn its head and look at me. And in that moment, I decided it is not worth it. And I started running the other direction as fast as I could. I don't need whatever it is that is holding, not one bit. Now, what happened there is halfway through the journal entry, I remembered I can't just go up to it and take the iridescent piece of flesh as my resource. I need to first make my ruin roll and see if I pass. And I fucking didn't. I have 2 ruin right now, and to pass, I would have needed to roll 3 or higher, and I rolled a 1. This is a weird d6. I should actually probably get a normal d6 so you can understand better, but this is a 1. This little diamond shape is a 1. So I fucking failed. So I didn't get the resource, which is why I had to run away. But I do remove this card, the 4 of spades, from the game. And now, left in an empty space, I have to move as quickly as possible, just as my character was trying to run as fast as possible away from the skeleton. I will go to the bottom right card. The card directly under me is also gone. It was a card I removed earlier. It's an empty space. And if I move there, I would have to make a ruin roll, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to move to the card in the bottom right corner of where I was, which is this. Okay. 5 of clubs. Let's see what the 5 of clubs says. Also a black card, which is great. Thanks for that. Splatter. A massive glob of mud splatters into a tree just over your head as geysers of mud erupt around you in a gurgling wail. The sky grows dark as a horde of shambling mud elementals start up an endless feud once again, smashing themselves to bits. In a few days, they'll start all over again. Lose a resource or make a ruin roll. Great. I'm going to make a ruin roll instead of losing a resource because I still only have 2 ruin. So odds are in my favor. And that's great. I got a 6. Again, it's not a number, so I'm very sorry about that. It's a bit of a moon situation. Is that a rat? I'm not sure. But there's stuff going on. And I know that that's a 6. So I don't get an extra ruin, which is great. But I do have to deal with these guys. The mud guys. Alright. Elementals. I was being so careful. I was running, and I swear to God, my clothes are all so dirty now. Can I stop falling in mud? Can I please stop falling into mud? And I didn't even just fall into mud. I walked directly into a scene, a fight, whatever that was. It was these gigantic mud creatures, guys, golems, whatever. They were scarier than the skeleton. That's a lie. That's a lie. The skeleton was so scary. But the mud guys were pretty big, and honestly, I was kind of more scared of drowning in the mud if I accidentally stepped into them. It was too much. It was too much. I I just had to keep running. And I just want to shower. Alright, poor girl. Poor little girl. She is very much entirely covered in mud right now. Um, Probably needs a change of clothing, but she just has to keep moving. I will move my I will move my player marker on the card directly to my right, which is this card. Okay. An ace of clubs. I will turn it face up. It's another black card. Great. Rot. A fallen log is your only passage across a deep stretch of oily murk, but you've dared to test yourself over far more treacherous obstacles before. Midway through, the bark gives way to rotten pulp and fungus, threatening to twist your ankle and tumble you into the bog. Lose a resource, or make a ruin roll. I'm going to make a ruin roll again. Oh, that's a 2. I have 2. 2 is not higher than 2. So I think my ruin counter has to go up by 1. On to 3. I'm tired. I'm getting tired. It feels like at every step the bog is telling me, turn back. You made the wrong choice. You shouldn't be here. You don't belong here. You cannot survive here. Every step I fall. And the only thing that is making me feel even any relief is my walking stick. Every time I fall and I trip, at least I can keep getting up with it. But this is exhausting. My foot hurts, my leg hurts, my arm hurts, my head hurts too. And I'm scared she'll find me. This is all slowing me down. I started out running. I was so sure that I'll be there before sunset. I'll find it before sunset. She won't even realize that I'm gone before I am already there, but this is getting scary. And now it's starting to feel like I'm walking in circles. But I just need to keep moving. Going to the card directly below. Which is this? Another ace. The Ace of Hearts. Dreams. A rare purple flower stretches from the mud, almost glowing in the dim light. It smells of dusk, restless wandering, and dew-kissed meadows. What part of you also blooms in darkness? Gain 1 resource. I didn't even want to get up anymore. Not for a while at least. I was just lying in the mud after I fell into it again. I didn't think I was this clumsy, was I? I was just lying there. And something caught my attention. It was sparkly. There's a lot of sparkly things in this bog. I didn't realize that before. But I turned my head. It was a weird angle because I was lying down. It's actually quite... My face got all dirty and I didn't like it. I shouldn't have done that, but I was doing it. But then I turned my head and there was something peeking out from under the mud. It was just a little bit of purple, but since I was so close to the ground, I noticed it. I reached out. I didn't want to drag it out directly. I didn't know how fragile it was, so I just started moving the mud around it. Now it's all underneath my fingernails. Great. But honestly, at this point, I don't care anymore about being covered in mud. It's disgusting. Ugh! But I moved the mud around. I sort of dug down a little bit. And I found this thing. It's beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. It's this purple flower. Almost, it feels like, I mean, it's kind of faint, but it feels like it's illuminating. My, just a little bit. I don't know. I guess since it was kind of getting late, sunset was approaching, it was kind of nice to find a light source. I don't know, it made me feel like the bog was telling me this is what it's going to be like. Finding your way around here was never going to be hard, but don't get discouraged. This isn't me telling you to go away. And I guess that was nice. I took the flower, I sort of tried to attach it to my little staff, so I've got a little light source now. It's a little lamp. It's not much. It's not very bright at all, to be honest. But it's something. I don't have anything else, so that's nice. Listen, don't fix what's not broken. And I mean, if the prompt is going to tell me that I find a beautiful rare flower and it's telling me to gain a resource, then I'm going to gain that beautiful purple flower. Quick math, I don't know what to tell you. I have found myself in the bottom right corner of my grid now. The Ace of Hearts was the bottom right corner card. Now, the card directly above me is turned face up. The one to the left of that, aka diagonally to my top left, is also turned face up. So the only card that I'd like to move to is the one directly to my left. I can move to a card that is face up, but there's something that will happen if I do that, and I will explain what if I ever decide to do that. So, let me move to the card directly to my left, which is this one. Okay, 8 of diamonds. Okay, one of those times it's gonna be the Queen of Spades or Queen of Hearts, and then you'll be like, dramatic irony, and then I won't know, and you'll know. So one of those times is gonna be fucking cool. But until then, it's a bunch of single digits. All right. At least it's another red, so that's a good thing. Ritual. You find yourself drifting in a trance, your body following the practiced motions of a potent ritual. You may remind yourself that this is a dream and snap out of it. Otherwise, you may spend X resources to peek at X number of cards on the map, then draw X cards and swap any of them with any face down card on the map. That's interesting. I don't think I want to do that. I think my child here, my little girl here, is too attached to especially the walking stick, but also now the flower. It's a source of hope for her. It's not just a thing she found. I don't think she would want to give up either of those. Not for something. It would have to be something very, very special. And this isn't it. It got late, so I decided to sleep. I just found somewhere next to a tree to just lay and sleep as much as I can. Rest. I saw a weird dream. It was like my body floated out of my soul floated out of my body and started flying above the bog, above where I've walked through, but then through strange parts of it as well that I haven't seen yet. I don't know. I don't really. I sort of. I'll be honest, I got scared of the height. I got scared and I immediately woke up so quickly, and it was one of those things where you think you're falling and then you suddenly like snap awake because you think you've been falling but you weren't falling, except I could have fallen. I think it felt really real. It felt so real, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a dream. It was a dream. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm awake now. I need to keep moving. Let's go to our next card, the one to my direct left. 2 of spades. Very dramatic, and for what? Well, let's see for what. Loss. Emerald green moss withers and fades to a sickly ochre as the ruins of a paved road break the surface. The path is shattered and disjointed, leading nowhere. An oily rot seeps between the stones, clogged with splinters, rusted metal, and a few stray coins. Remove this card from the map, then make a ruin roll. If you pass, gain a resource, or place a new card face down in its place. Let's make that ruin roll first to see if I gain a resource or not. No, nope. I was misremembering. It was a 1 and I got excited. I was like, "Oh, that's less than the ruin counter that I have." But it's the other way around. It's supposed to be more than your ruin counter and then that means passing it. But I failed. I failed, which means my 3 goes up to a 4. That's great. I love that. I don't gain a resource and I don't gain anything good either. This gets removed from the map. I have currently 3 empty spaces in my grid. Funnily enough, all in a vertical line. That's kind of cute. At least I wasn't walking in mud anymore. It wasn't very fun either. I did wonder, the stone paths, it felt like people used to live here. It was strange. But it certainly would have been a long, long time ago considering how broken and shattered and disjointed everything was. There was moss growing out of it, and I thought I saw some coins, but when I tried to pick them up, they were completely attached to the ground. It was strange. It felt like they had melted into the ground. What could have possibly caused that? The atmosphere was I I didn't like staying there. Felt like too much. I felt like I was surrounded by spirits of the dead and I didn't like it. People lived here before and they don't now, and I don't think it was a matter of moving. I just left very quickly. I didn't linger there for very long. I didn't like it. I'm going to move to the card directly to my left. King of Diamonds. Okay. Also, this is Pinocchio looking out of a very tall tower to the city. Cute. Dream. You find yourself in a quiet glade, surrounded by slender saplings with golden leaves and silver bark, each one arching upward to form a chapel roof. A warm light washes over you, and your eyelids droop as you slumber on a bed of moss. Time flickers by as glorious visions of the past dance before you. Make a ruin roll. If you pass, gain resources, or heal ruin up to the number of your roll, divided however you choose. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh man, I'm at 4 on my ruin counter. If I pass this one, that is. Please. Oh my god. Okay. Not likely. I need a 5 or a 6 to pass this. That's almost a crit is what I need. Okay, let's see. I need to make a ruin roll. And then I'll figure out what on earth happens in this scene. 5! Who? That's a 5, that's a 5, that's a 5. I passed. Oh my god. 5 is higher than a 4, and that's what I needed. Okay. So what happens here? Gain resources or heal ruin up to the number of your roll. Divided however you choose. Oh wow, this is a great round. Holy shit. Okay, so I rolled a 5, which means I can get either 5 resources, heal 5 ruin, or whichever way I want. I only have 4 ruin, so even if I wanted to spend all 4, I will get 1 resource still. I actually can't go down to 0 ruin anyway, so. Okay, yeah. I'll heal 3 ruin and get 2 resources. Wow. I won the lottery here. Jesus. Well, goddamn. It was barely even midday. I was kind of surprised, but I guess all the running and my bruises maybe trying to heal. I kind of wanted to take a nap. I don't know, I was so tired and so sleepy. I didn't expect it. It's very strange and surprising, but then the ground felt so soft. And I just wanted to just sit down, just under a tree, just for a bit. And the moss underneath was so soft. It was so nice. And then I just wanted to lay down just for a bit. I'm gonna keep walking in just a sec. But it's so nice. There's leaves and this tree is beautiful. It's silver bark and the golden leaves and the sun. I just 5 minutes. When I woke, it was starting to get dark again. So might not have been 5 minutes. But I found something more surprising. I was covered in this blanket of leaves and moss and flowers. I certainly don't remember being covered by any leaves when I went to sleep, but when I tried to shake it off, I realized they're all connected. It is as if a cloak of leaves and flowers was created by something in this bog. Somebody who saw me sleeping and didn't want me to get cold. I got up and the cloak remained on me, wrapping around my neck like any other would. It flowed as I walked and made the sounds that a leaf would make. It was beautiful, golden and silver and green and shiny. It was good to have. I mean, I was certainly a little chilly at times. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight considering my extra long nap that I took, but if I want to sleep, at least I have a nice blanket for me. Okay, obviously, one of the resources that I got was this beautiful cloak of moss that was constructed for me by something. I forgot to mention the second resource that I was supposed to have. Whoopsies. So I'm just gonna say that it's another beautiful flower. What? I can't have another flower? Let me have my flower. I think it's not just a flower. I think it's kind of like a bunch of leaves put together in a way that it kind of looks like a rose, like you would with some paper, like if you were making a sort of craft project and you were a little kid. Bunch of golden leaves that attach together to resemble a flower. And that's my currently fourth resource. Damn. 4 resources. Very good. Let's keep moving. With my rune counter down to 1 again. I think I'm going to go diagonally to my top left, which is this card. The 2 of diamonds. Another red card, which is nice. Glimpse. A jeweled dragonfly swoops in front of your face and hovers there. Time slows to the drone of its wings. Reflected in its eyes are 1,000 possibilities. Your mind swims for a moment, then seizes upon one of them at random. Gain a resource, or peek at any face-down card on the map. Okay. I think, I have plenty of resources. So I want to peek at any face-down card on the map. And I kind of, okay. All right, I'm gonna pick one at random. You tell me what it is. Wait. Wait. That's the Queen of Hearts. That's the monster. Now I know where I need to go, and it's only 2 cards ahead of me. Holy shit. Let me just double check this. When the Queen of Hearts is revealed, you encounter the monster and the game ends. Well then. I know it. I know where it is. I know. I know. A dragonfly told me. I was just walking. I was just walking where I thought that I randomly I picked a path and I was just walking and a dragonfly flew in front of me. And at first I was trying to, flap it away. I don't. It was kind of flying in my face. It was weird and confusing and annoying. But I looked at it and it looked back at me, and I can't know that for sure, but it really felt like it was looking back at me. And then for a moment, I was out of it completely. It was like I wasn't in my body anymore. Again, this creature keeps trying to show me visions of how to find it, and I know now. I looked in its eyes and saw myself walking. I saw exactly the lefts and the rights that I took, and I didn't see any more instances of me falling into mud. I'm so close. I really am so close. Damn. Well, goddamn. Okay, but we gotta be careful here. Because we could still find the Queen of Spades, which would mean that the Elder is onto us. And they could start running after us. But we can't worry about that right now. We just need to keep moving forward to where I know I need to go. Let's get the next card, which is the one directly above me, which is the Jack of Hearts. Merchant. A massive boar, hide thick with moss and bird nests, trundles along gleefully. All manner of stray objects from the bog are caught in its hide. Tiny eyes like bright blueberries regard you with amusement. You find that you can understand its snuffles and grunts as clearly as any speech. It invites you to share in the treasures of the wild. You may remove a number of connected face-up cards from the map up to your ruin score and gain a new resource for each. Jesus Christ, I'm really swimming in resources. This is fascinating. You may remove a number of connected face-up cards from the map up to your resource. Ruin score. Okay. My ruin score is currently 1. So I'm going to remove one random face-up card, and I will gain a resource. 2 days ago, I would have been so scared. I would have been so scared of this creature. This 2 days ago, I would have been really scared of this creature. It appeared out of nowhere and so suddenly, and it looked at me. And I felt like my immediate instinct was I almost expected myself to be scared because that's what I would be. Scared. Of course I would be. But I waited for the fear to come. And I waited. And I waited. And it wasn't there. Instead, what was there was this creature's tiny little blueberry eyes looking at me. So friendly and welcoming. It almost feels like I don't even need to find it. The creature. The monster. They call it the monster, but how could it be? It feels like it's already opening up the doors, welcoming me to the bog, to be here, with it. And I feel like I'm collecting a bouquet to present it with. A bouquet of flowers and plants. And I found another one. The boar's hide was covered in so much moss and leaves and plants and random objects from the bog. It was kind of hard to even make out where the actual boar started. And I picked one. I wasn't sure if the boar would be okay with it, but it felt right. And this plant, it was kind of loose and it was almost falling off. It was beautiful. It wasn't quite a flower. It had some dirt at the bottom of it where its roots were, so I could tell it was growing from the ground at some point, but it had its almost tentacle like leaves outstretched, green, but it was covered in these pink dots with dew at the end of it. Hundreds of tiny little pink hairs, in a way, with a drop of dew at the end of each one. It was so delicate, but I picked it up and I put it in my basket, and I was more excited than ever to find the monster. Okay, I have one more step to get to the creature, the monster. I am currently on the Jack of Hearts, the one that I just described and went through. The card directly to my top right is the Queen of Hearts, aka the end of this game. The resource that I gained, by the way, was a sundew plant that, because I googled what plants can be found in a bog, and this is one of them. Fun fact, my name translates to dew, or dewy, which is cute. Anyway, I can't believe we're almost here. I mean, there's no even suspense here, really, because I'm going to move to my top right corner card. And this is what it is. Imagine if it wasn't the Queen of Hearts. Imagine if I misremembered. The Queen of Hearts, the card that I peeked at earlier, intentionally, because the game told me to. Just to be clear. In case you don't doubt, I wasn't cheating. The game told me to peek. And so I did. And the card I found was the one I needed and wanted. Queen of Hearts. Monster. Rising from the bog, its twisted shape is everything you feared, everything you dreamed of, and still it is nothing like the stories you were told. Describe it as best as you can. To determine how your journey comes to a close, see endings. Writing in dialogue, describe the resources you offer. The monster will respond by noting each way that the bog has changed you on this journey. It says if you meet the monster, if you uncover the Queen of Hearts and you meet the monster, if you have 4 resources, which I do, 5 actually, not to brag, describe the way in which you make your offering and form a pact with the monster to protect you. How do you deal with the elder? What does your new life in the bog look like? And so that will be my reality. Oh, ancient one, I traveled kind of far to get here. Several days, at the very least. Mostly because I kept getting lost. But I'm here now. I've brought you gifts and offerings. If you were to accept them, it would mean the world to me. I found many scary things on my way here. Skeletons and elementals and other creatures alike. But I found my way to you, and I have things with me. A beautiful purple flower that offered me guidance and hope and light when I most needed it. I'm sure. I'm sure it was, at the time I thought it was you who sent it to me, but now I feel like perhaps it's not just you that makes things happen in the bog, it's the whole bog. It feels like it's alive, and all the creatures, they all, well, certainly not all of them, but it felt like some of them were rooting for me. So I give you this purple flower, rare, beautiful, and I'll put it down in front of you. Next, when you tried to tell me something, when you, I think you did something that made me so, suddenly so tired, and I had to lie down. I had to sink myself in the moss It was once again the creatures that helped me out, and I awoke with a carpet of leaves and moss covering me, taking care of me, looking out for me. Was that you? I can't know. I can't know for sure. But if that's how the creatures that live in this bog with you are, then I want to stay here. I was scared of them once. I was scared of the unknown, the strange, the things that I couldn't see and I couldn't understand. I'm not so scared anymore. So I put down another flower, though not quite a flower this time, one made of these beautiful golden leaves, down in front of you as my second offering. Next, when I was so close, when I already knew where I needed to go, I, I, I found a friend, and for a moment I thought it was another obstacle, another creature trying to stop me from finding you. But it wasn't. I don't think it was trying to stop me or help me. I think perhaps the bog is a place like any other. Creatures live here, they exist. I suppose I'm not the center of the world as much as I sometimes feel like I am. Sometimes I need to remember that the rest of the world exists independent of me. And that's something my elder would remind me of all the time. I do wonder whether she ever realized that I was gone. What am I saying? Of course she did. But how quickly? It doesn't matter, because I'm here now, and I've got you my last offering. I put these two flowers and this beautiful plant in front of you, and I will cover them up with this cloak that your people made for me. Creatures who never even showed themselves. They appeared while I slept and left before I woke. So take these 4 offerings, Ancient One, and help me stay here. Help me call this place my home, as I don't want to be scared of it anymore. Defend me from those that might not be my friend. Thank you so much for listening. That was Bog Berries by Gabriel Robinson. I had actually so much fun playing that. That was really lovely. I love the grid mechanic, the map of the cards. I haven't played a game with that sort of mechanic before. Genuinely really fun, really nice. It was a really fast-paced game too. Sorry, I need to linger on the map mechanic for a second because it was so fun to feel like it's like visualizing you literally moving through the bog as you jump from card to card. Especially if I pulled out the Queen of Spades. That would have been super fun. I didn't, but if that had happened, the Elder would have appeared on the map and started chasing me, and then I would have had 2 D4s running around on the map, and that would have been super cute and super fun. But I do feel like I'm like a god watching over. Maybe I'm the ancient one watching over the bog from all above, seeing little tiny girl as a tiny little person. But yeah, this was so much fun. Thank you so much again for listening. I have been Shaghik. My pronouns are she, her. I am a sound designer, podcast producer. I work primarily for the One Shot Network. I am the editor of the One Shot podcast, and I have my own solo actual play show called Roll by Myself. You can check out all of my stuff on my website, shaghik.com. That's SHAGHIK. You can also go follow me on Blue Sky if you like. That would be, again, shaghik.com, because I bought my own domain, because I'm cool like that. SHAGHIK.com, once again, on Blue Sky. And that has been my entry to Game Master Mondays.